welcome back to test number 13 in the Total Tactics series. This week, we have again decided to go back to 5 at the back, which is something that I've been asked for in a couple comments on the videos lately, and something I've wanted to go back for. The original 5 at the back tactic has done very well on the channel, and there's a lot of people out there searching specifically for this shape when they're looking for tactics advice, so I decided to take another stab at it. Also, incidentally, if you're into PvP, and a lot of the people who follow the channel are, myself included, this is a good tactic against the 3 strikers. I've also found success against the 4-3-1-2 with this tactic as well, and it's something that I would strongly consider you using in PvP as either a base tactic or part of a tactic package that includes other 5 at the back shapes like 5-2-1-2, maybe 5-3-2, or the 5 at the back with the wingers and single striker. Like, all of those possibilities are there if you kind of build your team for it, and then this is something you can switch to when necessary. So I do think the tactic that you're about to see today is something that give you a lot of options in PvP, and it's just really strong against the AI, which is something you'll see when we get to the results. So, but always remember, we're doing all of the tests on the Total Tactics testing database, which you can download from the Discord server. There is a link down in the description for that. So make sure you join the Discord, download the save game file, and test your own tactics and get involved in the conversation about all the different tactical shapes. I hope I see you there, and let's take a look at the tactic itself. All right, so this is the tactic, and instantly kind of what I want to call your attention to is we do have 2 attacking outside wingbacks. One is inverted to sort of fill this space here next to the CM attack and link up better with the Shadow Striker, and one is a wingback outside to give the tactic a little bit more width as well, and maybe give another body forward to get the ball to this poacher. So the tactic is a very simple, 5-3-1-1-2, right? What a simple tactic. No, I mean, the tactic was born out of this 5-2-1-2, right? Where you're dropping the DM, sliding over the Shadow Striker for a little bit more like asymmetry. And then this is what kind of I finished with. And so that's sort of the goal here. And the goal of the tactic, again, is to sort of stop the 3-striker meta in PvP, but also to provide a strong base tactic against, say, the 4-2-3-1, where you would like to have a DM to cover their AMC. And I think this tactic does really well in those types of situations. The DM is maybe a little bit unnecessary against the 4-3-3, so that's why I like it as an RPM, because it will get more involved in the offense when possible and when necessary. But still have those defensive duties to cover those kind of attacking midfielders that lay out there. So a couple things that are of interest here: pass into space and run at defense are turned on. That is a way to take advantage of specifically the poacher. The poacher does not have a lot of movement generally. He'll play off the shoulders of the defenders a lot, right? So if you have the ability to play a ball in behind, that poacher's going to be ready to make that run into space to get that ball and then take the chance on goal. Again, here it's pretty simple: counter press counter, roll it out to the center backs and wing backs. Like, it's just pretty standard. And then we are playing higher and higher. Some of my tactics have had much higher line of engagement. I've been backing off that lately, and sometimes in games even going to standard. If you have pacey strikers and you drop it to standard, you have the chance to get in behind with those balls into space. And so it's a pretty simple tactic. The only other kind of interesting thing here is we do have take fewer risks on the wingback attack, as well as the CM attack, which is something you've seen a lot on the channel. So when possible, I have tried to do that just to make sure that we make the extra pass, right? Shoot less often, shoot less often, shoot less often, right? All around the offense, so that they're taking the best possible chance to increase that XG per shot, and like make sure you have the lowest possible chance that you're going to get FM'd in any given game. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from this tactic, and I think you'll be pleased. All right, on this first highlight, we're going to watch the team sort of play through Insigne, the Shadow Striker, to kind of watch what he's capable of as a creator in this offense, which when we take a look at the stats later, you'll see again that Insigne is one of the primary creators in the offense as that Shadow Striker, which maybe is a reason you want to try and put a slightly more creative player in that Shadow Striker position, because they do end up with a lot of assists in this tactic. So let's push play here. Rahmani starts with the ball here out wide to Di Lorenzo to Fabian, and then here is where you start to see the dynamics of the tactic take place. So Fabian with a nice one-touch pass as the RPM, ignoring Muriel and ignoring Milik here, and not making this diagonal to Pacina either, which also might have led to a scoring chance. Pacina's unmarked here, maybe could have played in Milik in behind, but Fabian goes for the ball over the top to Insigne, and you can already kind of tell what could happen here as Milik is making this run to the back post to be there. So this is kind of a pass into space sort of goal. Fabian puts it over the top to Insigne. Insigne gets there, first time cross, and Milik hits it. So it's also a goal that's possible because Insigne is right-footed. If he's left-footed, that goal never happens. So if you do find the passages of plays are coming from your kind of shadow striker overlapping the poacher, that is going to lead to some cross opportunities. You're going to want to put a right-footed player if you want the creator to be that shadow striker role. All right, so we're going to start with this highlight kind of pretty far away from the goal. So I'll go ahead and hit play, but here we go. Osimhen's the advanced forward. He's about to receive this ball from Pacina, and then he makes a very interesting run through the midfield here that kind of unlocks the rest of this play. So we'll watch Osimhen here. He's just going to turn with the ball, and he doesn't try to hit Insigne through the middle. He doesn't lay the ball off to Muriel. He doesn't pass it here until he has a pass into space to Muriel, who then backs it out to Di Lorenzo, and now you can see that Insigne, the shadow striker, has slotted into that channel that Muriel, the poacher, vacated. You've got Osimhen here as well, up here at the top of the picture, and then just off screen, Matteo Pacina, that CM attack, is making that third run into the box, which is where the ball ends up going here on the pass. So Di Lorenzo crosses it all the way to the back post. The defenders are clustered in the middle. That beautiful back post cross by Di Lorenzo results in that goal by Pacina. But Osimhen really made that play by finding the correct angle for the ball into space into Muriel, who then lays it off for Di Lorenzo, and then that back post. And you make sure you have that late runner, which is why CM attack is so important. If that's just Osimhen and Insigne in the box, there's no goal there. It doesn't happen. Even Biragi, who's moonlighting at left wing back in this game for Rui, is there as well in the box. So you have lots of opportunities to find a body, and it led to a goal. All right, let's pick up this highlight, which does come in a rare win against Liverpool 3-1, and this goal is before the red card was given. So this goal is going to start with Koulibaly, and I think there's only 3 passes. So Koulibaly is going to hit this ball up towards Rui, who's the wingback on attack, lays it off to Zielinski, who plays basically a give and go with Rui into space, and then Rui just scores. It's just one of those things where when you have that wing back on attack, you get these overlaps. And could he have crossed it to kind of Muriel, maybe the poacher coming on the back post? Sure, but he had a great chance and he just took it, and so he scored. So quick highlight, but it just shows the power of that wing back attack to kind of overlap, and the CM attack and Osimhen are occupying the defenders on that side, which made it even easier for Mario Rui to beat the high line to get in behind for the goal. All right, so Bremer starts the ball in this highlight, and this highlight's just kind of to show you the power of how the poacher just hangs on the shoulder of the last defender to really take advantage of those balls into space. And one of the things I'll quick add here is with a poacher and with pass into space, sometimes you don't want highest line of engagement. Right now, this is just on higher in this tactic, and sometimes it can even work on standard, because when you kind of withdraw your attacking line, the defensive line usually steps up as well. So it gives even more room for that pass into space instruction to work behind. But you do have to have players with pace to exploit that. If you have slow strikers, it will not work. You'll want those lines higher for the slower strikers especially. But Muriel and Osimhen are very quick. But in this highlight, though, it is on a higher defensive line. So you'll see Bremer kind of start with the ball, Pacina back to Fabian, and then Hateboer is playing right back. And Muriel's just been waiting the whole time off the shoulder of this defender, like not a ton of movement, just sort of standing there on the shoulder of the defender, which is what you want your poachers to do, not to be too involved into the game. And this is 15 seconds into the game. That was like the opening highlight of the game where they scored. So Muriel's just hanging out on the shoulder of the defender to take advantage of Hateboer's movement. Hateboer gets wide, sucks a defender towards towards him, and then boom, the pass is there for Muriel, and we saw the goal. So it's just one of those kind of times where pass into space is going to lead to some opportunities in behind, especially from the poacher, and Muriel scoring a lot of goals in this tactic because of it. All right, let's take a look at the results, and I am very pleased. This tactic has managed to put up 66 points to a second place finish in the Elite League. It's put up 75 points, which is a little bit low in the Balanced League, but a strong plus 43 goal difference together with a championship in the Average League, and then a massive undefeated season in the Underdog League, 36 wins and only 6 draws, plus 78 goal difference, and a strong 96% showing. So the undefeated season plus second in or better in all divisions makes this 5 at the back tactic a force to be reckoned with. Now, let's look a little bit deeper into the results. We checked the league table here of the Elite Teams League, and 84 goals, 52 against. So it is conceding a fair number of goals, although in the Elite League, that's the second best defense. So maybe we'll see better results as we cycle through the leagues, but plus 32 goal difference, 84 tied for the most in the division with Dortmund. So it's definitely a strong result offensively, and relative to the teams in the league, a strong result defensively. And in the Balanced League, it has scored 93 goals. Now, again, it has allowed 50 for a plus 43 goal difference. And the 75 points total is a little bit low. Sometimes I like to see my balanced tactics kind of hit that 80 threshold, but scoring 93 goals is nothing to sneeze at. It did outscore Liverpool in this division, and so I definitely think this balanced result is not something to kind of brush off. And the average team's result as well, we have won the league, again conceding 51 goals but scoring 78, plus 27 goal differential there. And in the Underdog League, we've scored 108 goals with the 30 goals against, which is the best in the division for the undefeated season, which is just phenomenal here in the Underdog League. So let's take a quick look at some of the stats before we kind of move on. And you'll see here the goals are coming from Osimhen and Muriel, which you would predict from an advanced forward and a poacher. We don't watch any Osimhen goals in the highlight section, but it is still the primary goal scorer in the tactic, that advanced forward. The shadow striker chipped in with double-digit goals, and again, like I said, is the primary creator. But this CM attack as well is finding nice passing lanes into space and leading to 10 assists from Pacina. Di Lorenzo has 9 assists as that IWB, and even Rui is chipping in with a couple assists as well as the wingback. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Rui doesn't have more assists, but you can kind of sort of see where the passages of plays are coming from here. And Koulibaly is one of the worst performing players in the tactic to a 6.8 rating. He's playing here on the left, and that's to do with his poor mentals. I feel like if you have a better third defender than Koulibaly, this tactic could do even better. And Fabian as the RPMs and DMs in general are hard to get that rating sky high, so I'm not too disappointed with the 6.88, especially given the second place finish in the Elite League. So if I were going to play this tactic, and I have used this tactic on my stream with Esbier when I need to cover an AMC, because you have this DM, right? I think a lot of people play the tactic that's like a 5-2-1-2, myself included. I think it's one of the best tactics we've made on the channel. When I want to play against a team that I want a player in the hole for, this is the adjustment I make. So I kind of was like, how about I make a version of the tactic that uses that adjustment? And that's what we've done today. And I think the results bear out that it's really strong. If you needed to stop a goal, obviously you can back off the IWB and the wingbacks to like support duties. You can even like turn this RPM into like a DM defend or whatever you like to anchor man or whatever. So like there are a lot of options to make this, change the CM to a ball box-to-box midfielder. Either way, there's a lot of ways that you can sculpt this tactic to the needs of your squad and to the needs of the wherever you are in the match flow. So I really think this is a a great tactic. You should give it a shot. To you PvP mavens out there as well, like I mentioned earlier, this tactic also was kind of originally conceived as a way to beat the 3 striker tactics that run wild in the meta, and I've had some success with this shape as well. Maybe not this exact build, but this is a great starting point for a shape to attack that kind of tactic, especially if you already draft 5 at the back systems. This gives you an excellent thing to transition to against those 5 at the back tactics. So make sure, again, you like, follow, and subscribe, and give me a chance to kind of explain to you again that, like, we have this database again, right, is in the Discord. The link is in the description. So go ahead, get yourself into the conversation, try this tactic out, try your own tactics, and post your results in tactical discussions or kind of subboards. We have like channels dedicated to each shape that you can kind of play, and Football Manager, where you can kind of discuss with other people who play the 4-3-3 what they're doing with their tactic as well. So get involved in the conversation, join the Discord, and I'll see you again for our next video next week. Bye.